Hello friends, right now we are in a Chitral and here we bumped into the Federal Minister for Environment, Malik Amin Aslam, who has been on a tour here, visiting different projects that the government has initiated. So we asked him about the problems, about the environmental degradation that this particular part of the country has gone through.
Pakistan is a country which is very highly affected by climate change. We are one of the most vulnerable countries in the world on climate change issue, and that has posed serious challenges for Pakistan in different areas. We are at the moment number 5 in terms of the most vulnerable countries in the world. We've been in the top 10 for the last 20 years. Also, in a recent study, it was found that the top 6 hotspots globally, which are going to get so hot that they will become unlivable in the next 20-30 years, 6 of those are in Pakistan. And these are 3 districts in Upper Sindh and 3 in the southern part of Punjab. Other than that, the most vulnerable area to climate change is the northern area of Pakistan, because that's where the glaciers are and that's where the melting is occurring. And we also have a shifting of the monsoons. For instance, in Chitral, where the monsoons never used to hit before, now from the ground, and I was in the area of Mastooj, which is near Chandur, and the locals were saying that when the glaciers start melting in July, August, at the same time the rains also come, which never used to come before. So both these things are happening because of climate change. So that's a serious challenge. We are planting 10 billion trees as one of the tools that can help us mitigate the effects of climate change and also provide us with the watershed and also the carbon sequestration that is required to fight this issue off at a global scale also. In addition, Pakistan is a blessed country. You asked about the recharging aspect. We have a project initiated which is called Recharge Pakistan. Now, the concept behind that project is also linked with climate change. Because of climate change, we are having rapid floods and big floods happening in the country. But what happens is that this huge mass of water, there's an average 40 million acre feet of water every year that comes in because of the melting of the glaciers, also because of the monsoons which occur at the same time. So this huge mass of water then travels all through the artery of the Indus, which goes through Pakistan like a spine. And this mass of water, we store it at Tarbela, and then short of after Tarbela, right till Karachi, there's no storage. So this water just passes through, we flush it into the Arabian Sea. So it's a huge resource that we are wasting every year. So on one side, we have this huge resource which we are wasting. On the other side, we're becoming a water deficient country in terms of per capita water. So I think what we have decided is that we are going to look at this concept called Recharge Pakistan, which has come from the Ramsar Convention, which actually did a study and after the 2011 floods, and they said that on the left and the right bank of the Indus, there are about 15 wetlands which are going dry. So these wetlands, if they could get connected to this flood system, they would get recharged during the flood, this flood water system. The flood water would get used, and also the groundwater aquifer would be recharged to this process. And obviously the overall ecosystem and the habitat of the wetland gets improved. So we have called it the Recharge Pakistan project. It has got the concept approval from the Green Carbon Fund, and we are now doing in the sort of pre-feasibility state of this project. But it is quite clear that this mass of water is there. It is going to come every year because of climate change. We have to properly store it and use it to recharge our dwindling aquifer system in Pakistan.
I also asked him what the government is doing on the waste management, how to stop this waste flowing into the rivers, into the freshwater streams, and is there a possibility of first legislating the issue and then creating a countrywide awareness on this?
Yes, it does. I mean, I'm very passionate about the environment. So whenever I see somebody opening up the window and throwing a wrapper out on the road, or I see, I was just driving up to Chitral, and in Dir there was you could see a lot of buildings throwing their sewers right into the river. So it pains me to see that. But what we've done is, because these are local government functions, local governments have to realize that this is not something they can do forever and live scot-free. I mean, it has a cost that will have to be paid. So we've started a project called Clean Green Initiative. Now that in its first phase is targeting 20 main cities of Pakistan, and we've given them 35 indicators, which include these indicators that would check if they're throwing their sewers into the river systems. It will check if they're treating their water properly, they're collecting their waste properly. So these are 35 quantifiable indicators, and it's been 8 months since this project started, and these 20 cities have slowly started moving towards, because they are reporting on that and they know somebody is going to check at the federal level and reward them if they do good, and penalize them if they do bad. And we are going to announce the results in the next week or so. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan Sahib, is going to announce that. The idea is to change the behavior of the local governments, force them to start thinking differently about the environment. If they're throwing something in Deer, in the water rivers, it's going to end up somewhere in Pakistan as a huge waste problem. So we all have to take up our own responsibility. So this is the project that we've started to look into this issue.
What are the alternatives to plastic? I mean, there's been massive publicity campaigns in different parts of Pakistan, but then after a while, the steam goes out of those campaigns. So we asked the minister as to, is there some legislation coming up on this issue, and can the government legislate while also provide some alternatives to plastics?
Yes, definitely. I think the legislations can definitely come in. We do have the National Environmental Quality Standards, which include, the standards on waste being thrown into rivers. But maybe even better, these were done in 1997, so they need to be updated, and especially at the provincial level, because now after the 18th Amendment, a lot of things have been brought down to the provincial level. At the federal government level, we are willing to facilitate that, give them the draft laws. The example of that is, the plastic pollution, which is also a big pollution in Pakistan. The plastic shopper bag, there were about 2 crore shopper bags just 10 years back, and they have now gone up to 5 billion shopper bags being used every year and thrown into Pakistan by the consumers. So what we did was we set up a draft legislation in the federal government, enforced it in Islamabad, and now that draft legislation has been used by different provinces in Sindh, Punjab, KP, Balochistan. They've set up their own legislations at the provincial level.
And what's being done to prevent the use of plastics, and is a policy coming up in which government also provides some alternatives to the use of plastic?
If you keep on looking for the alternatives, the shift will never come. But if you guillotine it, enforce it, and give it a phased enforcement, then the alternatives automatically come in, because we have lived with plastic. I mean, my generation has seen a life without plastic bags. But my next generation, my children, if we don't take this step now, they've got so addicted to the plastic bag that they will think that life is not possible without that. But the Islamabad experiment was also successful, to 70-80%. We guillotined it, but the enforcement, because of COVID, it got hit. That was a global phenomena, that plastic, because it's a single-use item, and COVID was going towards single-use items because of the transmission of the disease. So the plastic, plastic made a comeback in COVID globally, not just Pakistan. And our enforcement also, weakened, because we were looking at the larger issue of the pandemic during this time. But it was going very successfully. The alternate bags, which were cloth bags, which were paper bags, came into the market very quickly. In fact, it triggered a cottage industry, especially for women who were in their houses and making these, cotton bags. And we actually set up kiosks in Islamabad where they could go and sell them without any commission being charged.
The government has also been implementing a billion tree tsunami project in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, and now it is announced to go for 10 billion trees across the country. So where is that campaign headed to?
Inshallah, our target is very ambitious. At the moment, we have a PC1 which is for almost 3.5 billion trees. We have, after about 3 years, we're going to reassess that, see how much of the target we can achieve. But I think this is a movement which has started with the KP Billion Tree project, which actually exceeded its limit. met its target under its budget, and was a big success story not only in Pakistan but globally also, because it triggered a billion tree movement globally. This was the first project of 1 billion trees in the world, and then it was followed by UK, New Zealand, even the United States. All of them have named their tree plantation schemes as billion tree schemes. So this was actually a trigger for the global level also, and it has been a success story. And our objective is to start changing the behavior of the people, so that they don't see trees just for the timber, but they see trees as a function of the ecology, which is very valuable for us. Just standing as a tree, not cut as wood and burnt, but standing as a tree. It is fighting climate change, it is providing us biodiversity, it is providing us with the watershed, giving so many benefits to everybody. So I think if at the end of the tenure we can change this behavior of the people, allow the communities to protect the trees as a resource of their own, which is valuable not only for Pakistan and the world, I think that would have been a success story.